Okay, very good day everybody. Welcome to the channel and welcome to another video and another live stream actually. I am your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko and I will be your captain for today's flight. Today's flight will be taking us from Calgary Airport in Canada to Vancouver, also in Canada. It's going to be about a 1 hour flight or so. Do let me know if the sound is any good or not. I can quickly check here, do a little sound check. Stand by 1 second. Well, for now that seems fine, so let's just go with this. So, alright, so welcome Joe already, and we will welcome you again. It's very nice of you to come and have a look at what this crazy fool is trying to do. We're flying the PMDG 737-700. This is the Boeing business jet variant, and it is actually really. Let's go inside. It's so much quieter in here. It's actually really pretty plain on the inside. So let's quickly have a little tour, which you can see. I would think this is for the attendants, and then here, look, it's like a little living quarters. You know what I mean? There's a little hallway. There is a shower. Well, relatively comfortable looking, though bin-like toilet. There's a nice little sink. Okay, so you get the idea. It's you know, to just talk some real business here. So let's go back into the flight deck here. All right, so just let's set this thing up. So we'll start with the batteries. Aircraft come to life. We align the IRS, the navigation system, and you go to the FS actions here. You can select ground services and then ground power, and then the GPU will be connected, ground power unit, and then it starts whining, and now it says ground power available. You turn on your ground power and there you go, magically your aircraft comes to life even more. Alright, so let's turn on some logo lights and then the collision lights. So anything else we need to do for now up there? This is all booting. This is the latest update of the PMDG 737. They now got the electronic flight bag installed, so now you have the option to use the tablet on board. And it's fairly simple, straightforward. 2 apps, if you will, 2 buttons. And one is basically electronic flight bag, the other one is your performance tool. We'll get to this later. And yeah, it will. You can now actually request your data from Simry, which you can see right here. So there's the latest flight plan. So today's call sign will be Whiskey Papa, or Whiskey 4 Papa 812. Let's see, turbulence, so let's check the departure weather. 190 at 7 knots. And altimeter 2969er. We got a few clouds here at 800 feet and a few at 150 or 1500 feet, 8,000 feet and 150, so 15,000 feet. Broken 230. Really, is it that high? Am I going crazy? Okay, anyway, we'll see this as it progresses. We have the OFP in here. which most of you already knows how this works, so I won't have to explain it all. Now the fuel you just take here from the OFP, and lately I've been putting it exactly as it says here, so 5024, and final reserves will be 17 or 18 if you will. So 5024, just go ahead and enter that then, 5024, and there you go, that's our fuel. So that's all set there, right there, magically. So to set up the flight, FMC, you can see here, it's the Boeing business jet. What was this YCCY or CYYC? I always forget now. YCCY. CYYC. See what I mean? It's been a long day, man. CYYC. Reference airport. And gate was number 37, but I do not believe it remembers, it recognizes it. Oh yeah, this one it does. That's pretty awesome. Alright, so route, can clear this, we just do request, and we'll have, let's see, this one, Calgary to Vancouver. Right, so the route uplink is ready, we can load it. It is now loading into the system. And then once it's done, you will see activate, and you click execute. Activate, execute. There we are. Let's put in the flight number then. Whiskey 4 Papa 812. Okay, so performance initialization, no, we're not going there yet. Let's first check the departure and arrival. So we will be default route 17 left, and then direct to BOTAG, Quebec 8904, booth, Hankook 5, arrival 426 left. Okay, so 17 left. Let's have a look at the airport charts. One 7 left. It's this one all the way here, man. No, what is 14,000 feet? We'll do that. We are here at the south of this little thingy. So yeah, we just follow Echo, Juliet, Romeo, Bravo Alpha, over Charlie maybe, something like that. We'll get there in one piece. I promise you that. No worries. I will get you there. Well, relatively safe. So that was 17 left. Let me just double check. Yep, they're really sending us there. So thank you, dispatch. Departure 17 left. So it will be direct, as you could see here. It's going to be a direct to BOTAG, which is basically just another waypoint, if you will. It's not any kind of departure. Execute. And you go back to index for the arrival, and let's check that as well. 26 left, the Hankook 5, so ILS 26 left, and the Hankook 5 is sitting right here at the top. The transition, oh, there is no transition available, so we're just going to execute, and that will be that. So we should have all the legs represented here now in the computer, and you can see that. So now we go back to the init page, and we go to the performance initialization, 0 fuel weight. For now I just take it from the computer, and the plant fuel is then 5. Let's just keep that at 5 for now. And the reserves was going to be 1.7. Let's make it 1.8. Now let's have a look. So flight level 380, you can see that right here, cost index 5, and then we have 315,045 for the average wind. So cost index 5, cruising at 380, and then execute, and then we have 315/45 degrees knots, and that's the cruise wind. Transition altitude will be 18,000 feet. The N1 limit, now this bit is for me still a little bit hazy. For this you go back to the main page, and there you click the performance tool. So we're taking off from 17 left. You can import from OFP, but here it imports some values like the weight and center of gravity from the aircraft. Let's see what happens if we import from OFP. But let's go with this for now, just to mess things up, you know what I mean. Let's import the weather. So there you go, 1907 knots, so that's not too much. We're taking off 17, so it should be all fine. So we just hit calculate, and we got our takeoff N1 settings. It's a flap 1 takeoff, and we're going to select temperature 36, which leaves us with a trim of 4.61. So that will be select temperature 36 Celsius, which then gives us 97.3. Here actually it says 94.72. I'm going to wait. We're not totally there yet. It's a takeoff 1 or something, but not really sure what these D-rate thingies are meant to be doing. I'm going to look into that sometime later. Let's see, so we got VRF, so we got the V1, V rotate, and V2 speeds as well, 125, 127, 134. And the runway length 13,996, so we can keep that at 140 for the box here. So we're doing a flap 1 takeoff, and the center of gravity will be taken from within, and it will be 140 for the box here, and then 125, 127, 134. That actually seems to be spot on, so let's just go with these. So we got our V2 speed of 134, so we're going to enter that here. And I think we should about be ready for pushback in the GSE. Okay, so is there anything else here? No, that's actually it. So let's just, oh damn, I clicked on a little button there. Whoops, there you go. Okay, so let's start this sucker up. The fuel pumps and the yaw damper can go on now as well. And wait a couple of seconds, and there goes the APU, and you will see the exhaust gas temperature start to rise initially to about 8, and then it will go back to, I don't know, settle down around 4 or something. We're still on ground power, so we're not going to touch that for now. And well, we have the plane fully fueled and fully filled with passengers, so let's turn on the seatbelt signs. The crew can still roam free if they should so desire. So turn up some panel lightings, something that I very much prefer. Let's see, the IPU there, the temperature is slowly dropping. We'll be cruising at flight level 380 for the pressurization, and I believe that here in Calgary we're actually pretty high, around 3,600 or something. And you can see it right there on the primary flight display. So we're just going to set this landing altitude in case we need to come back for a return to base landing, if you will, which I'm totally not capable of doing without simple, sheer improvising. Anyway, let's continue the flow. Hydraulic pumps go on, and the probe heats, and then the window heats, and then we should be almost there. APU bleed, we can turn that on now as well. Let's turn on some packs, so so the packs in the back won't get too cold, you know what I mean. Alright, so that is almost it. It's actually almost time for the flight directors. Let's release the air stairs. That will be on page number 3. And you can see outside, really pretty. Goodbye. They close the door and the air stairs get disconnected, and they will go. Here you have Calgary International Airport as well. Let's go back inside so we can start this sucker up. Let's go to the taxi page for the pushback, or not taxi, actually a pushback page. A little more light before we go anywhere. It is always my preferred way, even if it's broad daylight. If you ask me, it just adds a little more immersion. It just makes it look pretty, I guess I'm like a crow, It's shiny and I'm happy, and I take it into my mouth and okay, well, maybe let's not just go there. But alright, so panel brightness here on the center pedestal as well. So we got that all. So we're going to give ourselves some random squawk code here. There you go, 40762, sounds good enough for me. TA only for now will suffice. And we got the microphone selectors for the pilot flying and the pilot monitoring. And yeah, I'm pretty satisfied for now. So quick sanity check. We got this all here. We got the lightings. Yeah. So let's turn on the flight director number 1. You see the master light coming up, which means that it is this side is actually the dominant side, if you will, and this is the backup. And let's turn on the auto thrust arm button, and let's go straight for 380. It's going to do a step climb anyway, but there's no ATC, so we can just do whatever we want. Alright, so 380 is laid in as well. Let's quickly check the runway heading, and I like to cheat a little bit and just pick here 252. I believe that will be actually the runway. Well, let's just confirm this. It should actually say that here. Of course, it's really stupid because we're flying 17 left. So 166. So lesson learned there. So let's fly, set the heading for 166. We won't be needing it. The course is actually more important. It ties into what I said earlier about setting the landing elevation for the airport that you're actually taking off from. Because in case you need to come back for a landing and you got an engine failure or whatever, you need to fly back, and then you already have your course for the ILS and everything, so you don't have to worry about that as well, when you're basically doing like a controlled emergency landing, if you will. I believe it was 166. Let me just double check before it crashes into a tower or anything. Okay, so 166, that's all there. We got our V2 speed as well. So let's see, we can turn on VNAV. Will this button take? Sometimes this does not take, and I still do not understand why. I was messing around with it yesterday, doing heading select and stuff, and all of a sudden it took. I was well up into the skies by the time it actually accepted it. But I don't know. We're just gonna take it as it is. No worries, you're in good hands, and you know, whatever happens, we will always land. You know, we'll always touch down. Now the trim was 4.61. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that. This is obviously a huge eyeballing going on here, and you know, so we just do that. We're ready, if you ask me. We're going to push outwards, actually orient ourselves. I believe we will push out our nose to the right. Where was the chart? So this is the runway that we're going to take off from, 17 left. So what we do is oh, I thought we were here earlier. What the hell, man? Okay, anyway, we push back, nose to the right, ass to the left. Turn nose right, 90 degrees, and we select a tug. Forgetting something really stupid. I understand now. Let's turn on the APU there. Because the moment we said, oh, yeah, sure, man, go and taxi, it's going to disconnect the ground power. Let's dismiss the ground power here in the menu, if that is still an option. Ground services. Ground power, it now says chokes. I guess that's fine. Just quickly have a visual outside. Alright. It should all work out. Should work out fine. Okay. So let's try this again. Dual FMC operations restored, I believe it reads. So we go back to return, push back, standard L, turn the nose to the right, 90 degrees, and let's get this sucker going.
We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our left.
Didn't that guy sound boring? Go ahead.
Roger that. Ready for pushback, tail to the left. Release brake, please.
Like, listen, man, I'm doing some plane spotting here. You know what the fuck you want?
Brakes released.
So here we are, the lovely airport of Calgary. Alright, so the pushback started, so let's start up engine number 2. And now we just monitor the, oh, something is not working. I screwed it up again, man. I'm telling you, the last few flights were awesome. I think I might see what's going on here. Let's turn off the packs. APU bleach should actually be on. I have APU on here as well. So let's go ahead and give this another shot then. And that's what I like to see. And we're just going to wait around 22 to 25%. And then we're going to add some fuel to the fire. And we light up engine number 2.
Pushback complete. Park brake, please.
It is a nice view with the setting sun behind us. For some reason it's nice looking at our own shadow. It is maybe of the same order of people waving at strangers when they're both in a boat and they're passing each other by. and I just feel some need to just simply go ahead and wave. Okay, sorry about that, got a little sidetracked here. So we got one engine running, let's confirm it. So yeah, engine number 2 is up and is running. So GRD and ignition. And we'll repeat the same thing here again. I believe the en route time for this flight is around 1 hour or so. There's a really short cruise, and then you start your descent already. Let's add the fuel right there. Let's have a little external view here. So while we're at it, let me quickly do a little sound check. Okay, that sound check was lovely. And we're looking at 2 engines up and running. Button has flipped back to its position. These 2 go to continuous. And let's turn on, well actually let's maybe first say goodbye to the tug there. Okay, so that's actually truly gone. That is a relief. Okay, so now we're almost ready to go. We're still on APU, so we're going to turn on the engine generators. And we can turn off the APU, because we do not need it anymore. And also the APU bleed can go off. Let's turn on the packs for the duration of the taxi, which is not going to be long. And let's turn on the runway, turn off lights and the taxi lights. And I think we're good to go. Almost. We're in Canada, so I believe we have to go to TRA. Not sure if that is actually the thing. Probably just talking out of my behind here. Let's have a look at the chart. We need to go sort of to the right. So the straight ahead to Bravo Alpha. Bravo Charlie, I believe. Should be able to have quite a significant zoom actually. But anyway, we'll get there nonetheless. Yeah, Bravo Alpha, Bravo Charlie. We're going to all the way Delta Victor. Yep. Let us keep this close by a little bit so we can orient ourselves while we are on our way to the runway. Let's check the recall lights. Yeah, this one is still not totally happy, and neither am I. And the lateral navigation, again, it will not take, and I have no clue why this is. Let me just randomly press some buttons here, because it usually seems to do the trick. We obviously need to press to reset this once we turned off the auto thrust there. I'm just going to do one cycle, and if it doesn't take, then we'll just go to take off and we'll fix it once we're airborne. So flight directory number 1, flight directory number 2, and RMD auto thrust. LNAV, no, it won't take, and VNAV will. So we're going to, well, at least we can use our heading select perhaps upon takeoff. So the taxi lights are on, so for now we're going to have to do with this master caution. Let me check, we are on traffic. We got the correct altimeter, so let's go. Parking brake is released. I believe it's not. I believe it's forbidden what I'm doing now. I'm not really sure what the limit is, but you know. And I believe from where we are now on the positions, it's fine. But the engines apparently are, you know, pretty darn powerful. You know, so it is generally, I believe, not really accepted if pilots, you know, just go ahead and blast their engines, you know, when they're too close to structures or living tissue, you know, or objects. We're flying real world time and also real world weather, so this is actually what the day should look like at this moment in Calgary. While we taxi, let us turn on the speed brake or the auto brake to RTO, which is rejected takeoff, in case we need to abort our takeoff. So we're going to carry on straight here on Echo. I believe, should we maybe be taking this, follow this yellow line here? So just go straight some more. Let's not overcomplicate things. A bit late for turning on the chronometer. So I don't think we're going to take left here, no. But then the next one, we go left. So we're taxiing fairly slow, 12 knots ground speed, slowly climbing. For the turn, I believe around 15 in this aircraft would be optimum, but nose wheel just seems to skid or something. So let's reduce power a little bit. Left is clear, right is clear. Little taxi music. Alright, so we're getting there. Maybe actually should, I think if I click the attendant button, they're probably just gonna think that I want some coffee or something. So cabin crew, prepare for takeoff. Let's take this one. Alright, so here we are on runway 17, we got some incoming traffic. Let's not scare them. So Delta Airlines, no, Air Canada. So if there's nothing else coming, let's line up. Before we do so, turn on the landing lights and the strobe and ready. I think that should be all, except then that, you know, something here in the setup is messed up. And let's also put the flaps to 1, which we were supposed to do long ago. I totally forgot. Let's check the right as well to see if there's not another aircraft mistakenly, you know, landing into the wrong direction with quite some welcoming tailwind, as you can see there from the windsock, if they were to do so. Okay, let's engines to idle, and let's set the parking brake there for a second. Now we get the FMC pressed to reset. We should verify our takeoff speeds, so let's quickly do that. 125, 127, 134, check. 134, check. We got the flaps 1 now. I don't think it's going to make any difference for the lateral navigation, which, as you can see, it does not. Which means we'll be taking off using the heading select. We'll be flying a runway heading of 166. And let's quickly do a briefing. That is pretty straightforward. I think we can manage it. Okay, and our next heading after takeoff will be 252. I think I'm good to go, so let's release the parking brakes and set power to N1 to about 50% and then let it settle. And I believe actually I should be using this hidden button. There you go.
Airspeed alive.
So we keep a little forward pressure on the stick. We release it around 80 knots. Check. V1, we got a rotate. We got a positive right. Gear up. Let's turn on the autopilot. And it doesn't look like that's engaging. Heading select V0 speed. Alright, so let's just follow the flight directives for now. The flaps can go up. Oh, it looks like the flight directives are not following the... Alright, let's just go ahead and turn 255 then. I believe this must be my first, well, manual takeoff, if you want to call it that. The auto brake can go to normal. Can also turn off the runway, turn off lights and the taxi lights there, and the cabin crew can freely roam. Alright, so let's try this again. It's one of the flight directors. For some reason it's accepting lateral navigation now. I don't know what I did differently, but here we are. 13,000 feet, so we've been slacking a little bit, we've been losing some attention, so we can turn off the landing lights now. The packs are still on auto. Actually they should have been off. APU bleed is also off, so let's quickly have a after takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds are on. Where are the engine bleeds? Engine bleeds, they are on. The packs are on auto. Landing gear up and off. It is up and it is now off. Flaps are up, no lights. Flaps are up and there are no lights, so after takeoff checklist complete. So we're now climbing to our first waypoint, BOTAG, 14 nautical miles. Let's bring this one down a little bit. Now while we are cruising, well, not cruising but flying, let's release the passengers as well. So let's go have a look in the back. As I said earlier, this is quite an interesting airplane. It's the Boeing 737 Boeing business jet version. So I believe this will be for the cabin crew, that they will use those seats for takeoff and landing. They've got a nice little kitchen with cabinets here and everything, you know, a nice little, well, dining setup, if you will, or conference. And there's a little hallway here, which is just way too quaint, and there's actually a shower, so you do not have to arrive dirty. And there is a little bin-shaped toilet, and a nice little place to clean yourself up, fresh yourself up a little bit. And there's some chairs that look actually like reclining chairs, if you ask me, with the buttons. They are not clickable, obviously, unfortunately. There's some fresh fruit there on the table as well. I hope the aircraft's still flying though, but you know, just do not tell my boss. Here's another bathroom, which looks way better than the average bathroom that I see in the aircraft. And then here there's another position for everybody, you know, to sit together or whatever. And this looks like, I don't know, Class B or something. And there's a little galley here on the back. Let's quickly check what's going on here. We are past the transition altitude, so let's go to standard altimeter settings. Speed 283, climbing still for 3,800 with a 2,850 feet. We're on N1 lateral navigation and VNAV, which is also controlling the speed. So on our way to Simta to wait for. Then we are at Mach point 756 and then 244, 244. Let's look like a stroll in the park. So let's have a little look outside the aircraft and let's play with the sound a little bit. It's a nice little moon there. That's a pretty area here. Yeah, and so we got all the charts on board here, which is really nice. So let's have a look at the airport info. Let's see. I don't think it has loaded yet. It's probably still refreshing, isn't it? Cook 5, so we're going to put a pin in that one. And the approach chart, we will be landing runway 26 left, I believe. Two-six left is the actual or selected runway. That's actually the actual now. 26 left, so where is 26 left? Let's go for the Cat 2 or 3 approach. So we put a pin in that as well, and obviously the airport layout will help for taxi purposes. After we have touched down, then we go to land taxi to the gate. Okay, so why not start there? So let's have a little look at what the airport is going to look like once we touch down. There's the moon. I always find it intriguing to see the moon during the day. That's the downside of anything related to SimBrief and Navigraph. They have an exceptionally cool service, if you ask me. I'm a total fan, but whenever it's incorporated into flight systems in the add-on aircraft and stuff, things just appear to load like forever. Especially like one chart may load, but then you will load the second chart and that's just never going to load, and you know, you're just clicking buttons back and fro. And alright, let's try something else. Pin, so it doesn't actually put them at the. Oh, it works like this. Okay. Anyway, airport info. We need this one. No, Vancouver. Yep. That does not look like it's opening. Which reminds me of Jurassic Park, where the actor says, "Hello, you do have dinosaurs eventually on your dino tour, right? Hello," you know, like, you know. So yeah, we're flying blind, people. Can we have a look at the this chart now? Can we just turn the sucker off or something? At least we can see that we are still on planet Earth, or at least what it looks like to me. Okay, so maybe it has a little bit of stage fright, so let's just let that sucker take its time. What we can do in the meantime, we will be landing at runway 26 left. So you go to the legs page, actually go to the runway where it is being displayed as a waypoint, if you will, on the flight plan. You just click it, and then the text is copied to the scratch pad. Now, if you go to your fix page, you can paste it here, and you create a fix. Now, this will help you with situational awareness once you arrive at your landing airport. Well, what you could do is draw a circle around it. And let's say we're going to draw a circle. I believe the ILS starts between 4 and 5,000 nautical miles. Well, sorry, 4 or 5 nautical miles. So let's draw one circle at 5. So just do /5. And we would like to have another circle at, I think, 15. I keep forgetting the slash there. And let's also go for 25. This is just for a little situational awareness, but it can help a great deal once this all starts working and you get to where you are going. We can zoom out. Well, actually, let's do differently. Let's go to the plan page here, and we can actually zoom in, which will make it more clear. Now, if you go to your legs page and you click the next waypoint and the next and the next and so on, you will start seeing the first ring of 25 miles coming into view. Now let's zoom out a little bit. So this kind of stuff can come in really handy once you're approaching the airport. If you know that around 5 nautical miles, you know, it's really like the maximum to extend the landing gear and stuff. And it is where the glide slope is about to start as well. So you have, yeah, just what I said is like a situational awareness that can help a great deal once you get to where you are going. But for now we won't be needing it, so let's put it back to the map page. We can zoom out a little bit. We'll see our top of climb is almost there, and then we'll arrive at Binville. But for the descent, I don't know why there's a speed restriction of 240 knots below 10,000 feet. Maybe actually that is in Canada and the United States. Maybe that's actually accurate. I know in Europe it's 250 knots. Maybe let's just keep it at this for now. I always change this, but then I just realized maybe in the Americas it's yeah, you know, it's differently. That could be. So let's just keep it there for now. So 2340 Zulu hours, so in 176 nautical miles basically we'll start our descent. So we are 1,000 feet from our cruising altitude. It's a pretty remote area, man. Oh look, it's another airplane. Hello. Hello, other airplane. I see you. So while we're up here, personally, I see no reason why not play a little bit of the blues. Now, do mind that this guitar has been down-tuned like 4 semitones, so it's really easily out of tune. Let me just quickly. Well, I got the blues flying from Vancouver to we're not flying from Vancouver, we're flying to Vancouver from Calgary. You think that page have loaded? No, man. Poor thing. Alright, so that's some live entertainment for you right there. On a totally out of tune guitar. But somehow I have to like the sound. So I figure, you know, what the hell. Is there any way to reset this sucker, or what do we have here? What is this? No? We cannot click it. There's a little finger. Can go to the home page, request new data from SimBrief. Maybe something like that will like jolt it out of its currently catatonic state. And if we do not have charts, well, then you know we're screwed. But as I said earlier, we will touch down anyway. So well, this plane will definitely come down. I mean, we have gravity as our friend, you know. You might call it gravity assist, or you know, whatever. What's this? Reset zoom? Hotel? Maybe jolt it. I have really no clue, man, why it is doing this. Am I still here? Hello? Hello? Am I still here? So I have no clue. It's a shame. It always works. It's the first time it's letting me down and making me look like an idiot. I mean, it's personally fine. It's basically helping me out. I make myself look like an idiot as well. So that's you know, that's all okay. Let's remove this one. No, man, it's not showing at all. What the hell is up with that, man? Come on. Don't leave me hanging. Yeah. Oh well. We're just going to have to make do. I landed there yesterday. I believe ground elevation is near 0. Let's switch effect. No, let's not do it yet. Ground elevation is about 0 or 7. I believe 7 feet at the runway, the touchdown zone. Yeah, I believe it's 7 feet. Radio altimeter, I believe, was 102. You know what? Shall we just go ahead and enter all kinds of assumed information? Excuse me. Apologies. So we select radio. Then here, once you start turning the dial, you'll start seeing the green numbers appear there. And we're going to set this at 102. Just, I'm a curious person and very vain, so I want to know if I was right. Okay, if I remembered right. So 102 radio altitude, I believe, was for decision height. Let's have a little sip of the fruity drink. There, that keeps me lubricated for a bit. Then, okay, so then, you know what, let's just go ahead and set this as well. We're not going anywhere. So, landing elevation was, there is no option to select 7 feet. So, we just select 0, the closest number. There it goes. Alright, just had to mute my mic there for a second to preserve your ears and my pride. Okay, so landing elevation, well, is assumed set, and radio altimeter is assumed set as well. Or decision height. We can get the arrival altimeter 3014. We're not going to select it yet, but we can pre-dial it in. You can see the numbers change here below the standard, the green STD. There's actually a game that says, an airplane that says STD, and some airplanes also say retard. Not sure the two are related, but you go do the math. The wind is 290 at 6 knots. We'll be landing at 26, so we have a 30 knots, or actually 30 degree headwind, which is perfectly fine at 6 knots, which is nothing too interesting. The top of descent is nearing. Now we could also check here the ILS frequency. This is actually really handy. This is inside the system. For Vancouver 26 left, which usually I would get this from the chart, but as you could already see, the chart was not cooperating too much. So 110.7, put it in the box. So we got this there, and the course was 263 degrees, and we just put that here in the course box. We do this on both the pilot and the first officer side, obviously. Okay, so that's all been taken care of as well. We're not totally done yet. We're going to do let's do a flap 40 landing, and that will give us a ref speed of 127 knots. This is going to be our final approach speed, and we'll be flying flaps 40 degrees, which basically flaps full on the Boeing 737. We do not really have to arm the auto brake quite yet. Let's just not get too far ahead of ourselves. So Vancouver, here we come. It's actually, I flew there yesterday. It's actually it's a pretty nice city to land. I believe there is a challenge in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's some landing challenges, and one of the landing challenges, you fly some, I don't know, probably some single prop aircraft or maybe dual prop aircraft, and you have to land it there. I think that's actually the first time I saw the airport in this game. And it's all surrounded by water. There's a lot of water. You can actually see on the map here already. Maybe the rest of the world already knows everything about Vancouver. I do not. But I do know what my aunt's borscht tastes like, you know, so there's that, you know. It's a you could call it like a trade-off, you know. Just one kid is just a stupid fruit bowl to trade, and the other kids have you know, really cool toys to trade, you know. So But maybe that's a story for my psychiatrist, or maybe even my shrink, or maybe their entire team. Wants to actually want to get their hands dirty. You know what, Arkady? We will process your emotions. I mean, surely that's not too much to ask, is it? In this modern day and age, it's a culture of consuming. So we can be very demanding. Heal me. All that miserable crap. It's on a serious note, it's a weird thing. If you're still following what I'm saying, then you're a superhero, because I'm losing what I'm talking about myself here, actually. But let's have a look at our progress. So far, the flight sim has not crashed. It does crash still every now and then. Trying to be really take care of it very, carefully. But it's just software and hardware, and most of it's pilot errors. So descent page, let's brighten it up ever so slightly. So 73 nautical miles. So they're definitely getting closer, which obviously is not all that surprising considering our speed. We have a ground speed of 402 knots right there. Why don't we see if we can expedite the cruise stage a little bit. I do not do this too often. I believe I can choose speed intervent. It's already at Mach. Oh, there you go. So let's go 0.81. Usually should be fine. We have a headwind, so we're not going to get into any trouble, I believe. Just checking here the tape, and the magenta box is indicating what we are demanding. And then the obviously the tape with the red and black square there is telling you, Arkady, man, you're stressing the aircraft beyond its limits, and I urge you to reconsider your current actions. Sometimes between action, or rather between impulse and action, lies a great realm of good taste, begging to make one's acquaintance. But I should probably keep a personal log. Okay, so speed is definitely picking up. We're probably just going to gain about 1 minute or so, so I think it's probably fairly negligible. Will we ever know if I was right with the let's go to the search page here. It's just, I don't know, how can you refresh this or anything? It's interesting. I actually see now that I put a pin in the wrong one. We have a Canuck 5 arrival for runway 08 left and right, and for runway 13. Obviously that doesn't, that shouldn't be any, shouldn't make any difference. As you can see, I click this one, it doesn't load either. It wants to, but it doesn't. Any other maps? No other maps? Okay, PMDG, tell me what's going on. Why is this happening? I would like to know. Have I been bad to your Boeing, perhaps? Have I been a bad boy? Or have I maybe turned your Boeing into a bad girl? What is it? But you know, the question on everybody's lips is, can the frog tap dance? And the answer is, hit it. Dun 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 dun. Happy feet, I've got those happy feet. Right, so this box was eyeballing me a little bit strangely earlier. Just going to put it down a little notch there. In fact, let's quit playing around with the speed intervent, and there you go. You can see, so when you check the speed intervent button, well, let's not break the aircraft, but you will see the magenta pointer here, or arrow, or whatever you want to call it, move toink up there, and when you disengage think, it goes back there to the speed that is being controlled by the vertical navigation, which you can see in your flight plan if you go to your relax page, and the aircraft will then descend. What was the glide slope? It was 4852 or something. So let's dial this in, and again it will just follow a step descent anyway. So 48 was something like 4852, so let's put in 4800. This is the altitude at which the glide slope will start. And I'm really starting to think we should give up on the charts. Now, I am curious, this is the departing airport, and it's also not showing the charts for this one as well. So there's something wrong with the stupid flight bag. Is there maybe a way we can reset it through the menu? Shall we have a look? Return PMDG setup, perhaps aircraft options, options maybe, simulation, no, aircraft, equipment, and where was the electronic flight bag? I believe it was on here somewhere, not really sure. Flight tablet, yes or no, so we're going to choose no, and then it's gone. Very good, and we're going to choose yes. It doesn't look very promising. What do you think? And I'm also using Navigraph charts, and it does something similar, where it loads a chart, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna check the other chart, and you quickly click the other chart, and it sort of doesn't want to load, and it just takes ages and ages. It's something I hope can be fixed on some developer level or something. Now, what we did earlier, we set the altitude to 4,800, which is the glide slope interception altitude for runway 26 left. But the aircraft is we're still demanding to follow vertical navigation and lateral navigation. At some stage, we are reaching the top of descent. You can see there, T/D. Can zoom in on that a little bit more. So it's about 17 nautical miles or whatever. 17 nautical miles, there we go. So once we fly over this point, the autopilot will automatically start bringing the nose down and start descending, and it will also try to maintain its speed automatically. And you can change the speed if you want. If you feel like, at booth I want to be at 245, you know, instead of 244 or whatever, you just enter 245 and then slash. If you leave it empty after the slash, it will just copy whatever is sitting there already. Basically, you're telling it don't change the other bit. It has two bits: the bit before the slash and the bit after, behind the slash. Okay. So here you can also sort of manually amend your speed settings, which can be handy in certain situations. 263 on the course, we have that still. Now, for the descent checklist, let's have a look at that. So pressurization should be landing altitude, which I believe was 7 feet, and we put it at 0, but let's have a visual. That's a visual, there you go. Recall checked, and we still have this FLT cont. I have no clue what this means. Flight, I don't know. Could have a look at the flight plan real quick, but I believe everything looked fine. There might be no clue. Okay, let's just carry on. Auto brake. Okay, so we're going for an auto brake of 1. That should suffice. Landing data VREF minimums. So yeah, we basically set this up already then. So we're going to land flaps 40 degrees. Our ref speed will be 127 for the final approach speed. And we have set the decision altitude to radio, or 102 feet. Radio in this case meaning not altitude in terms of pressure, but actually physical measuring with a radar straight down from the bottom of the aircraft to the ground, receiving a ping signal going back up to determine the actual physical altitude in length. You can see we're starting our descent now. And the little magenta triangle right there, this is what is this is basically the vertical descent profile, and we are slightly below. We are slightly low on the descent profile, and this is also reflected in the descent page, where you can see vertical deviation is 27 feet, which is not too much. 26 feet, 28 feet. It's it's jumping. Anyway, so let's carry on with the descent checklist. Approach briefing. Well, there is not really approach briefing. We set 3 fixes at the 5 nautical miles, at 15 nautical miles, and at 25 nautical miles from the airport, from the runway, I should say, which is the green circles right there. We could do some sort of a briefing and get a little more in there. Let's get rid of the column there for a bit. Let's zoom in a little bit more before we actually carry on. Yes, 40 nautical miles or 20. Let's go with 20 nautical miles. So legs page. So currently we are on our way to Booth, which is 63 nautical miles ahead of us. Then at Mogus is 25 nautical mile fix, Optot saved at 50. I believe 25 nautical miles is where the localizer signal can be picked up. So as you can see, it's going to be basically just like a basically straight in landing. There's some minor deviations there, but basically, it's like a straight in. We're still on profile, ever so slightly below. Below I never mind too much. So looking at this barren land, it's hard to believe there's actually a city coming up, But that's me, I would build my city, in the city, obviously. With also more lubrication. Okay, so the aircraft's is performing fine, but maybe then the exception of the FLT CONT right there, which I do not really know how to troubleshoot at the moment. And it doesn't actually have to be it's probably a pilot error. But if we get the basics down, we should get the aircraft down. So nothing to worry there. The weather is actually fine. There's not too many clouds or anything. It looks a little moist there, humid near the ground. Some cloud formations sticking to the valleys there. They're not going to be any problem for us. Now they did say broken clouds 230, 150 and 8,000 feet at the arrival. 4,500 few clouds at 180, scattered at 230. Okay, so that's it then. 3014 is still the actual altimeter. So the navigational display, let's turn that back to map view. Alright, let's go to Vancouver. I think one of these days I might try to do an entire flight from this seat, just to get used to that. I believe that beginning pilots start as the first officer, and when they are allowed to fly, they will probably usually sit on this side. Perhaps they always sit on this side. Not sure how that logic works, but exactly. But yeah, it would be nice for a change, like everything's still there. It just, just looks a little bit funny. Now, this aircraft does have not windscreens, sunscreens. Didn't it also have a sunscreen that could go up here? Sometimes you need to like install these things. I'm not sure if it has been installed in this one. I think it only has these window shutters here. There's one here for this and for this. Wasn't there? This is the one I'm looking for. I must say, once I did this and then my simulator crashed, so let's play around with this sucker here. It's a pretty cool system. Oh, I hit the sweet spot there. There you go. And that one we can just dismiss. Is it a really crazy idea if I check the charts on this tablet? Well, because data from Simreef, so this looks like it has this was like initialized. Departure, arrival. Look at that, man, it works here. Alright, so let's quickly gather some information. We are approaching Booth. The altitude constraints, we'll see this later on. We're just going down. Obviously we should check with the we should have checked earlier if this is all programmed correctly into the computer there. Now for the approach chart, and it was 26 left, so let's check out this one. Apologies. 110.7 263. Airport elevation 13, touchdown zone is 7, so that was that's correct. Radio altitude 103. I was off by 1 foot, so we are going to have to correct that immediately. 103 for the decision altitude. 103, that has been set, and I believe this is linked. Okay, so we're passing 21,000 feet in a bit. At 18,000 feet, which is the I'm forgetting all these words, I'm getting so tired. The transition altitude, my apologies, we will have to switch to local, or rather target altimeter settings. Transition level, flight level 180, there you go, it says it right here. The glide slope starts, this is 3000, so I think the, of course, yeah, this is significantly lower. So we're going to have to change that as well in a little bit. Glide slope starts at 2030, so we're going to change the altitude to the lowest. I believe 2000 was the nearest below it. 2030, so we're at 2000, which is fine. 263, 110.7. Let's quickly check. We have 110.7 for the ILS, and we can also check it right here. 110.7. I don't know why this is crossed out. I see this all the time, so in that sense there's nothing weird happening suddenly, but it does happen all the time. But nonetheless, it's crossed out, so I'm not really sure what that means. There's no DME yet, so we cannot. The DME stands for distance measuring equipment. We're obviously not receiving any signal just yet, so we don't know how far we are from. Well, at least the radar cannot detect how far we are from the ILS beacon. Let's zoom in a little bit more, and we are passing 18,000 feet, or flight level 180. So we're going to switch from standard pressure to the local pressure at Vancouver, which should be 3014 inch. Let's quickly have a look at the latest weather. Does it refresh like this? Maybe also just look at the other tablet just to be sure. I mean, now that we have to, let's just use them. You know what I mean. Arrival 3014. Okay, so that's cool. 290 with 6 knots. We have few clouds at 4,500. 180, which is basically where we are now. seems sort of correct. Let's get rid of the sunscreen for now. That is a really pretty area to live, man. I hope the people here are happy. But who knows, maybe they're all drunks. Okay, so let's see what else is the aircraft doing. So we're descending. You can see the speed has dropped. We are now, let's get rid of the descent page. We're still following, actually we're straight on the descent profile right there. This will always change a little bit. We go to the legs page. We are approaching Booth in 1.1 nautical mile, where it requires us to be at 244 knots. And we're actually below that. You can see here as well, 244 is requested or demanded, if you will. And well, I don't know, maybe we have a significant headwind or something. Now we're on our way to VTEF, which is a heading of 2 to 3 degrees. And at VTEF we should arrive at 13,153 feet. It is jumping around a little bit. 244 knots as well. We're now a little high on the descent profile. For now it should be fine, but at some stage it might read drag required, in which case we'll just turn on the speed brakes. That mountain looks really happy to see us. We are following procedure, so I believe everything should actually be fine. Let's quickly go to the arrivals page and check our arrival for 26 left, and it starts doing the same thing. Okay, so we can give up on the charts. I wanted to have a look at the altitude peaks on the surrounding area here. But anyway, we're just going to continue 12,000 feet. I think it's time maybe to put down the seat belts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're getting ready. We're descending towards our destination. We're looking to arrive at Vancouver International Airport in approximately, I know this is very poorly rehearsed, in approximately 10-12 minutes. For now, just sit tight, enjoy the ride, and you know, there's drinks in the back, but you're gonna have to ask your flight attendants, because you're not allowed to go anywhere at this stage. It's for your own good, it's for your own safety, you know, don't kill the messenger. This is just airline procedure. But on behalf of this airline that we're flying, I don't know which one it is this time, and the entire crew and myself, I'd like to thank you for flying with us, and hope you enjoyed your flight and do call again. Oh, and if there's any pretty girls out there who have like a pilot fetish or anything, leave your number with the main purser, and I'll have my people get in touch with you. Pretty little mountain there. This is a beautiful approach, man. So we're passing 10,000 feet. Turn on the landing lights. I'm also going to start the APU. And I quickly running to the galley to lubricate my throat, and I'll be back within 2 shakes of the lamb's tail. Okay, so that was easy enough. So what we're looking at. So we're reaching the 25-mile ring. So the aircraft should start picking up the localizer signal any time now. We're not going to arm it just yet, so we're at 8,000 feet. Let's see, did we or did we not switch back? I think we did not switch back, did we? No, now we are at, so 10,000 feet later, I switch back to the correct altimeter. You can see the aircraft immediately panicking and adjusting. Let's go for a quick external view and a bit of music, and I'll be back momentarily. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so they do say that sometimes we make the best decisions on a full bladder. Let's say I did not feel like making good decisions. Okay, so let's kill the music for now. What's our situation? 4,700. We are still following a decent descent profile. Speed should be 222, which is, we're getting there. It's picking up the ILS. We have a DME here as well, which you can also see for the white diamond here. We are below the ILS. So now let's quickly turn to arm the localizer, and we are armed on the intercepted by the localizer. Okay, so let's do this. Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. Also turn on the landing or the runway turn off and the taxi lights. And we arm the speed brake, and let's real quickly, no, let's not, let's first maybe press the approach button. And glide slope is armed. It's in white here, G/S, but it has not yet captured as such, but it will do so in a bit. I'm going to zoom in a little, or actually just go to approach. Now drag required. That's flaps 1. Do not like this view. I'm going back to map. This is much better for me. 211 flaps 2 or 2500. Check. Okay, what I wanted to do real quick. Engine start switches are on continuous. Speed brake is armed. You can see this here as well. Landing gear is down. Well, not yet. We are now at 7.1 DME. Since we are, let's deploy the landing gear. And flaps, green light. Well, we are wearing the flaps, if you will. Flaps 5. I'm always winging the flap positions with regards to the speed, really. I haven't really figured out what these numbers mean as such. I'm sure when somebody explains it to me, I'm like, oh, of course. But, you know, that makes sense, but... So, I mean, we are not at 5 yet. So does the green 5 mean it's okay if you're above this to go to green? Sorry, to go to 5? I really have no clue. Let's just not bother. 170 knots, DME 4. So we're definitely committed. Here's the city of Vancouver in Canada. Sorry for the poor camera positioning.
1,000.
Okay, 1,000 feet. Continue. Glide slope, by the way, is captured. I'm going to play around with the flaps now. And find the limit. And that might be a limit right there on the left. Definitely, we're coming in a tad. Let's go to 127.
400.
Oh, come on, man, not now. Turning off the autopilot.
Approaching
Flaps full.
minimums.
This is quite a high approach speed or landing speed. Can we chop some off a little bit? Looks like we can. 30, idle.
10.
Touchdown. Full reversals. Welcome to Vancouver, everybody. Turn off the flight directors now. $60 knots. Engines to idle. Flaps up. And the speed brake comes back as well. Now do we go left or right? We go right. So we take this intersection right here at 45 knots, but this is a high speed intersection, so that should be fine. So So let's get off this runway. We do not need these auto brakes anymore. So with a ground speed now of 20 knots, which is fine. It's a tad on the high side maybe for going through a curve like this, but let's see, where are we? Beautiful, there's our shadow again. Let's turn off the landing lights and turn on the APU bleed. And let's go find ourselves a parking spot. We're just going to blindly cross a runway on a major international airport without checking left and right first, and without getting any kind of clearance to do so. Let's get rid of this master caution light there. It's bucking the hell out of me. Is there anything else we can clean up for now? Don't think so. Well, there's some jetways right there. Let's stand next to the what is it, Air Canada? Yep. Let's do that. Let's go stand with the big boys and girls, huh? And the aircraft's actually still having a decent speed. We've been on idle ever since before we left the runway. All I did was brake a little bit. Yeah, sure, man, you can make it. So now before we turn into here, let's quickly turn off the bright lights, just to be a little bit considerate to the ground personnel working here at the airport. Alright, we'll stop. Parking brake is set. Engine number 2, disengage. Engine number 1, disengage. Whoops, my bad. And we switch to APU, obviously. And let's release the passengers. FS actions, ground services, and do we have a jetway? There you go, jetway. And is that coming automatically? Not really sure how this works. Jetway inhibit. Deplay. I don't think I feel like bothering. Let's have a look. Maybe here. No, I'm gonna be fine. Oh wait. Wasn't it this one? That's good. That's alright. Alright, so that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for checking, and leave a comment down below, or leave your telephone number if you're very pretty. and female preferably, and you want to get in touch. Is there anything else we can do here? No. Before we go out, I would like to get up and have one last look here at the beautiful Boeing business jet. I want to be a little bit taller in this game if I can, please. Thank you very much. There you go. So yeah, can you imagine, man? You're having a 4.5-hour flight. You can just, chill back here, sleep, eat, shower, whatever you want. It looks pretty cool. And I've been having this Boeing business jet, obviously, as part of the Boeing 737-700 package by PMDG. But I never bothered to try it out, and then I did, and I never actually looked in here. And then once I did, after like a couple of times flying it, I finally discovered it's actually pretty cool on the inside. So that's nice. It's always nice that these things get modeled, Can we go into the lavatory? Looks like it's getting stuck. Alright, so let's just go back here. Alright, let's have an external view here. Here we are, people. Standing next to a big ass Air Canada jet. Thank you very much. I'm your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko. Thank you very much for checking, and I would love to see you next time. So everybody stay cool. See you. Bye bye.